Morning, guys. We were John Sears in California. What's going on this morning? It's the 23rd. Coming close to Halloween, aren't we? We already had our Halloween last night with the debates, didn't we? It was kind of a scary damn thing. Well, President What's-His-Face actually tried to behave himself somewhat. I was expecting him to go on a full-rage tyrant. Apparently he didn't. This morning, they're fact-checking left and right. They're fact-checking everybody left and right. Who said right? Who said wrong? Who said what? Who said how? Remember, he keeps screwing up on the damn COVID. However, someone keeps screwing up on the damn fracking issue. Got himself off guard, and now he can't even dig himself out of the damn thing. And yet all the damn lies keep coming out left and right, and we have reactions taking place left and right, as I said before. Tonight's supposed to be the third World Series game between the Tampa Bay Rays and Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, you see I'm not wearing my usual. I'm not wearing my usual at this point over here. A bit depressed about that, too, because of a situation that happened. But I'm not quite sure how the hell to get resolved, even though it should be. And last night I got into a theological debate that really kind of set me off a little bit. Made me think a hell of a lot more, and then feeling like I hadn't actually done anything. Right. So to those people that I've actually talked to last night regarding the philosophical debate concerning about religion, on one particular posting, somebody actually was trying to say something about Jesus Christ as Lord, and everyone else should be worshiping and hallelujah and stuff like that, and I got sick and tired of it. I was raised not to make a fuss when it comes down for religion. I was raised not to make a fuss about someone else's way of worshiping. Somehow something got broken in me at that point, and I'm going after people left and right because of it. Is that right? I was raised better. I was taught better. I was supposed to have more patience, love, and tolerance. You're a human being. You screw things up left and right. And what drove me crazy was I'm hearing and seeing things from people that are pushing their theology down people's throats. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm getting sick and tired of the damn soapboxes they put up there. It says, look at me, I'm worshiping this one. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And I keep thinking to myself, this is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because I always assumed, and I always been taught, that when you're going to be worshiping, you don't make a big deal about it. You don't broadcast it left and right, because, and whose glory are you worshiping? Yours or the one you're worshiping? And I've seen too many people going into cult statuses left and right, including in religion. And it doesn't matter which particular religion, they're still cultists. Which probably puts me in the atheist or agnostic. Neither. I had said in my other videos that I'm neither agnostic, deist, or atheist because of my experiences. And because of what I was raised under. I don't broadcast it, and I don't skull thump people, and I don't thump my chest out in public or even on social media. I just allow actions and words to do my own thumping. If If you're a good person and you're doing good works, at least you think you are, then that defines you, as I come to believe. When someone else keeps saying one thing and yet trying to do another thing, I know they're hypocrites. And I've came across a lot of hypocrites growing up. I've seen a lot of hypocrites on television. Those who claim that they're godly, worldly, and everything else fell apart because of indiscretions one way or another. Stupidity, basically, and ego. So every time I keep seeing people online who are posting and promoting and skull thumping and chest pounding and saying that they believe in, and you should too because you will be saved and you'll be this, and I'm thinking, you're snake oil salesman. I know Christ liked promotions, but if he actually saw this kind of stuff going on these days, over the past 40 decades or more, I think he'd be having a heart attack. I don't know, all those claim posts. But I've seen these guys come and go. I've also seen people turn religion into politics, and politics into religion. And I'm thinking, my God, what the hell are we turning ourselves into? The damn Dark Ages again? Or worse? We're going to be turning ourselves into the Roman Empire-ish era? I've seen these things happen. I'm not comfortable. And I call them on it. And I'm probably labeled as a hypocrite, whiner baby, and everything else underneath this sun. Including a libtard. Because I'm not following and I'm not drinking their Kool-Aid. I'm not believing what they're saying, and I'm calling them on it, and I'm pissing them off left and right. I get into an argument concerning about how to interpret the Bible. If one person is so stuck on religion and on their just the New Testament, and that's the only religion, that's the only thing he's or she is concerned about, then are you concerned about the other religions? Or are you just focused on your own damn thing that you think this is it and this is the only greatest thing out there, but you're not open-minded enough to understand that there's other pathways to God? I'm not saying you should take them. I'm saying that there are other pathways to God. People follow. But since you're only promoting yourself and denigrating everybody else at the same damn time, and I have a problem with that, and I call them again on it. I got into an argument and a major philosophical and theological argument over the damn thing. Now, if you're going to be doing the Bible at this point over here, do the whole damn thing. You're going to be considering it as an entire history book. I consider it a collection of stories since it was being written down and passed down from generation to generation to generation. It was only because we were discovering this Dead Sea Scrolls that some of the stories were actually coming out. We actually have written proof. Everything else is under stone inscriptions. From one empire to another empire. Long time ago, somebody actually found what they called the Rosetta Stone. It had about 4 or 5 languages on it. That helped whoever discovered it, how to interpret the Egyptians, Babylonians, Mayans, no, not the Mayans, but the ancient times, I should say, ancient languages. And it contained enough to where it was being used to translate a lot. The Roman Empire and the Greeks, we barely had enough information coming down there from either stone inscriptions or papyruses if we were lucky enough, or even anything salvaged from the Great Library of Alexandria, which got burned centuries ago. It's burned, sacked, pillaged. So we were able to find out certain things about our past that we're still trying to discover. Predating the Bible. There were also things going on in the past, I don't know how many decades. People kept saying and claiming that the Bible was showing the Earth to be only about 6,000 years old, roughly. Creationists kind of believed in that one. The geologists kept telling him otherwise. There was an argument made a decade ago, roughly, I think either in Tennessee, Ark site. Somebody made an Ark out of state public funds. Copy of Noah's Ark and what their version of real religion was. And there was an online discussion about this one that's still on YouTube. Bill Nye versus the guy who built the damn thing, and they were going after each other. Politely discussing their differences and their viewpoints, science versus someone else's point of view. Toss-up, really, because the audience was already going for the Ark in the first place, but if anybody else kept looking at it, at the videos, I would have said Bill Nye was winning. I'm a science geek. I like science. But that doesn't mean I disavow or disapprove of or do anything negative and contrary against religion, because I already had that experience when I was growing up as a kid. And we're not talking about church. As I said before in other videos that I've done, I had a traumatic experience that left a hell of a mark on me. I'm still trying to figure out to this day. And when you're facing something beyond every sense in the book, as a 4-year-old dies on the table 3 times while surgeons are trying to repair a malformed and malfunctioning heart, 3 mitral valves leaking, one got patched, the other got sewed, and the other one they left alone. They left the last one alone because he kept dying on it too many damn times. When it came back, I was also told I wasn't ready to come back yet. I didn't have to have conversion of the afterlife. I was there. I was there. And don't tell me I was born again because I died and came back to life. It scared the hell out of me. I actually had a couple of incidents in my childhood that, I tried to reach out in a way. One was going across the street to a church during the summertime, praying for an elderly aunt. And I had a lay minister with me. I wasn't quite sure what she meant by accepting Jesus in my heart at this point over here, but I was just praying for my aunt. Maybe I was accepting, I don't know. But the next thing I knew, I had this energy in me. And a reassurance that she would be all right, regardless of whatever happens. That I would be all right, regardless of whatever happens. So, when she died, damn, it broke my heart. And I cried. And a few months later, I'm going to junior high. And I'm dreaming. And I'm getting ready for school. And my aunt comes to visit me in my dreams. That day, I couldn't concentrate on my damn work if I wanted to because I was damn near devastated. And I had to go to school. I had to go to school. There was no other way. And I missed my aunt like crazy. I missed her and loved her. I didn't realize it. But I saved her ass, too. I went away. I guess she was trying to tell me about that one. But it made a profound impact. And I was still more afraid of death than anything else. I had pastors and I had ministers coming over to the house. We lived in one particular area where my grandmother and aunt lived. In a house in Arlington, San Fernando Valley, California. Back in the mid-70s, mid to late 70s. Ministers from the church I was attending, not the one across the street from the house, but from First United Methodist Church in North Hollywood, Bob Hillman and his family. Not much on John Nagel's family, though, but Bob Hillman was a constant figure in our household. It was always so nice to see them. I miss them. gone a long time ago, physically and passed beyond, and the rest of the family. They made an impact on my family. They made an impact on me a great deal. There was someone I can actually talk to and relate with. And we talked for hours concerning about death. We concerned about spirituality. And I was still afraid because I had been there. I really didn't know how to talk to him even further on that one because there was no context for me to tell him about it. And a couple of years later, I'm in high school, and I'm dealing with, maybe a few years later actually, and I'm dealing with things, and Ma sends me over to YMCA. Had a disabled grandmother. My mother's trying to do 24/7. And she wanted to be away for about a week. Do me good. And in that process of going over to the Camp YMCA for Camp 365 out in somewhere in Angeles, or in San Bernardino, somewhere in there. Camp's long gone, burned down to the ground decades ago. Never find it again. Or the spot. Just have the memories. They were asking the young boys, and there was also a few girls in there too, would they be able to accept Christ in their heart? A lot of those boys really didn't understand the concept either. I mean, even if they got to church, they still didn't understand the damn thing in the first place. We had teenagers and we had young adults, in the 20s, doing this camping thing. Not to mention maybe one or two seniors in their 40s and 50s. However, we were led through a pathway, stepping over things, climbing over things, being helped over while being blindfolded. We get to a clearing. We pick up rocks and put them in a circle. But during that little journey there for about a few yards, maybe about 1 yard or 2 yards, we're listening to Bible phrases. We're listening to things written in the Bible. Walk, stop, listen. Okay, get the sermon. Continue on, get another sermon. Continue on, get another sermon. Kind of hard when you're doing it when you're blindfolded like crazy. But you're supposed to have faith and trust in something in front of you. A demonstration of your willing and commitment level to whatever kind of pathway you're supposed to be going on. I thought the rags they were wearing was cool. You stay there long enough and you indulge yourself with a lot of YMCA activities and campouts, you get the highest colors that you can. In the beginning was a basic blue, which I still have to this day. But it's the spiritual, emotional impact, basically, they were looking for the students, or the campers, actually, to get. We might as well be students at this point over here, students of a little bit of a theology lesson here. It was scary as hell. Because you're still blindfolded, you still have to have faith and trust in these guys knowing what they're doing. I'm in the wilderness. We have creatures all around the damn place. We have creepy, crawly, slithering all over the damn place. Scared the crap out of me. Because you never know what the hell you're going to be facing in the middle of the night. You never know what the hell you're going to be facing during the daytime. But it was still an experience because it was camping. And I really wasn't hip on that level of camping. There was a lot of strangers and a lot of people I didn't know, but I had to put my faith and trust in them. It was scary as hell because I wanted to go home where it was safe. I didn't have to deal with that except for maybe creepy crawly insects, and that's about it. But we get into the circle. We get these rocks and we put them in front of us. We sit and meditate. once more. Somehow, maybe the magic words were said. Probably used by me. And I wasn't quite sure. I was still damn scared. But I actually felt the reassurance again. I felt that same energy level, and I felt it. Scared the hell out of me again. Energized me, but still scared the hell out of me. So about almost a week, roughly, got that presence until it kind of muted down a little bit. Everything else was happening around me. And I wasn't quite thinking about that thing. Really wasn't. Go to church when we could, but church at this point over here was on television. Hour of Power. Billy Graham. Hour of Power I could deal with a minister named of Robert Harold Schuller. God rest his soul. He created this ministry of his out of a drive-in theater amidst orange groves. Orange County, they called it. Made it into a multi-million-dollar successful empire of sorts. Somehow or another, he lost the empire. Faded into obscurity. Family still runs the business and still runs small church. Tries to keep up with the broadcasting these days, I think. But it has been a hell of a long while since I've seen it. And I know the senior had passed over a couple of decades ago. He wrote a lot of books. He had idols that he worships somewhat. He borrowed material from. They're also long dead, too. Norman Vincent Peale was one of them. And Schiller was making money off the damn books and everything else he was doing. But he was still pumping it into his empire. I don't know if he was pumping it into his pocket or not. I never got into any controversy over the damn thing. All I know is his ministry is positive enough that I watched it and listened to it. And participated financially whatever I could. He was a good man. Well, these days, it's kind of hard not to miss that. But the conmen, when I hear televangelists telling their people that they're going to die unless they get a bunch of money. One guy even got to the point where he got himself damn broke trying to get an amusement park and living facilities for people to participate in this Christian era, this Christian land of fun. I forgot which nut job it was, either Jim Baker, or somebody else. Jim and Tammy Faye, probably. Jim was doing extramarital affairs, and it was already recorded in history right now about that. They broke up. Whole ministry collapsed. Everything else collapsed. So I was already jaundiced when it comes down for televangelists trying to tell us what the hell is going on these days. They know better than everybody else. Shit, I go to churches left and right. And I come across people doing the fire and brimstone. I go to food giveaways. I hear the fire and brimstone. People are afraid about the revelations and Ragnarok coming, basically. We all have to be saved. We all have to be saved. We've got to be saved. We have no choice but to be saved. I was taught never to denigrate in any way, shape, or form anyone's beliefs or religions at all. Or the way they worship. It just wasn't right. It just wasn't done. But I don't like it when I got people pushing stuff down my throat, saying I have to believe. I already had to believe a hell of a long while ago, and it scared the living crap out of me. Even as an adult still pisses me off. Not that I believe in a power greater than myself that restores me to sanity, if there was a level of sanity out there in the first place. let alone believing in someone who with a supernatural power for raising the dead, healing people's sicknesses, or making them aware and making their stars into scars. Actually, scars into stars, actually. Thank you very much. Sorry, Doc. What's written on that one, anyway. Let alone trying to use Lord's name in vain, and I've done that too many damn times that I'm marred for eternity on that. And I'm still trying to pay the price on that one. I can't pay the price on this one. I have to keep coming over to God and Jesus and saying, look, I'm screwed up, all right? But I just don't broadcast it. I just don't go out there broadcasting and skull thumping my head like crazy. Jumping up and down like a damn fool and idiot. I've seen other people in different services do that. Hell, there have been a few Methodist services that I've been to, a few Methodist church, that celebrate in a circus style that I can't stand. I was raised in the most strictest traditional Methodist form, that there was always a format you follow. Ritual. And that was me. So when I got into another church, trying to look at the damn thing, is it going to be similar? Or is it going to be totally different? If it's totally different, I can't deal with it. There I've been. Places like revivals. They're treating it like revivals, treating it like hooping and hollering, shouting and singing like crazy. And I'm looking at these people. And I'm thinking they're fools and idiots. Does God like this? I have to keep thinking that God must have loved it, because why did He make such differences? Why did He make us so different in the way that we worship, that we come to Him? It may be through the blood of Christ. This is the only way to be getting saved at this point over here. But why do we have so many religions worshiping God? Why are we allowed that option? Why do we have Judaism going on? Why do we have Hindu, Taoism? Besides Christianity, we're getting our asses kicked on that. We also have Islam, which I understand original Islam was a lot less violent, a lot more beautiful at this point over here. I understand the Quran was a hell of a book to read, until you had lunatics out there trying to discredit it and put the thing in its shame. Sharia law and freaks people out left and right. And no wonder they don't like anybody who studies Islam, regardless of where they're coming from. They don't like it. Some people are attracted to it because of what it presents. There's also conversions into Judaism from people who are not of the Jewish bloodline, but turning out to be the Jewish faith. Now, I don't know personally in my own family history if I actually had any Jewish bloodline running in the family, at least for the Cameron clan. For the Weaver clan, it beats the hell out of me, because I never knew anything about my father's line. And if he was part Jewish, maybe that's where I got my taste regarding corned beef. I don't know. But I like it, I tolerate it. I understand it. Torah being based off the Old Testament. And they deal with Christ as the king. Not as a savior, but as a king. That's cool. Catholicism, they're dealing with saints. A hell of a lot of saints. Hinduism, I'm not hip on it. I mean, I'm not knowledgeable about Hinduism or Buddhism. At least not that much anyway. But But I'm not knocking against it either. I know that there was a prophet a long time ago named Muhammad. And he was handed information by God, his stories, that created the basis for Islam. Oh, it was so nice to hear the local fire department nearby. But that's about it. I mean, I've had arguments with a person concerning about religion, and they wanted to know if I was converted or not, one way or another. And they're pissed off about it. I kept telling about, what about the other religions? You're going to be closed-minded enough not to acknowledge and realize that they're there too. And some person called them man-made religions. I hate to tell you something, but we all got man-made religions. Christianity is a man-made religion. It's made by a man. Made by a group of men. And women. Who followed after one person of extraordinary gifts and powers that people still can't understand to this day. And the following created Christianity from the body and the soul of a dead Jew. A Jew that was persecuted by his own kind and by a cabal of Pharisees who were scared of him. Not to mention a government system that was afraid of him as well. All misunderstanding that whatever Christ was trying to teach at that point, he was trying to teach how to be good and kind towards each other, if possible. Roman Empire wasn't into that. And neither was the Pharisees. They were more into greed and they were more into power, instead of understanding God's laws and God's will. Of course, they followed the prophets and they followed Moses and the laws that were given out, not to mention the Ten Commandments and subsequent books. And the thing of it is, just one man trying to tell people it's all right to be different. You can love the guy or woman. If you try to love yourself, if you like yourself, why not like the other guy? Or just tolerate him a little bit. Get to know what he's like or she's like. There are certain rules and etiquettes that you don't do. But even if you had a small amount of faith in something greater than yourself, that amounts to something massive. If you actually truly believe that there is something greater than yourself, and it's a hard concept to have, because people are used to their own way of thinking. They're also used to what they consider mammon things. Their own ideas, their own beliefs, their own way. Not going out beyond your own boundaries to help another person out one way or another. And somehow that adds up to something. But then again, you're going out there and shall we say it, rape, kill, pillage, burn, lie, cheat, and steal, denigrate religions, even the name of God one way or another, or even telling your family that they're no damn good. Going out there killing because you like to kill one way or another. a lot of things to break. And not getting satisfaction out of it, just continue to doing it because you're out of control. I know the need for the need to be shown and educated about this one religion that will help you out if you truly believe, and we have to keep skull thumping your ass on this one. Only if the person was actually sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this is some of the things, I know this is going to be a long rant at this point over here, so screw it, that I've come across when it comes down for 12-step programs. You made a hell of a lot of damage being a screwed up individual, manifested into something that's an addictive behavior, self-destructive nature as well. And somehow or another, you've got to come to realize that you're one fucked up person. Yes, I used the word. That your life is totally unmanageable. And you're realizing at this point that maybe there is something greater, more powerful, and maybe a little bit more forgiving, as long as you do the work of forgiving others or asking for their amends. Not asking for their amends, but asking their forgiveness because of what you've done. You make a list of the people that you screwed up with. You go out, you tell a person about it, then you go out there and try to make amends. You try to realize what you've done the next time, try not to do it again. And you constantly try to evolve in these steps, in these programs, to the point where you get the quote-unquote spiritual awakening of one way or another. I don't know if it's mental enlightenment or it's the energy level in your spirit. I don't know what it is. But you're more well aware of what's going on. I have said too many damn times I'm a fool and an idiot and a hypocrite at times. Sometimes I talk at the side of my mouth. Yeah, I tell you what this with you. And that just only proves what kind of an asshole I can be. Because I know I have to be accountable. I have to be transparent. I have to be held responsible. And looking back at what the actions I've done and things I've said at this point over here, I still have a hell of a lot to go. A lot of people to make amends to, and I can't. If I can help out as many people as I can, I don't know if it's going to be adding worth or not. I don't know. But it also helps when you actually realize that maybe there's that power greater than yourself, as whatever you call it. If you can grasp something of it, an understanding of it, an inkling of it, and hope that maybe, just maybe, that you're going to be turning everything you can over to this and understanding that its will is greater than yours. And through your actions or inactions or words that you speak, people that you encounter, that you are guided and directed either to make amends or make something right. And when you realize it after you do some self-reflection on this one down the road, you're like, mind blown, awakening on that one. Compare that to Christianity at this point over here. Compare that to surrendering to a person or power greater than yourself. The concept of God is universal for all of us. I know that. I believe it. We have our own individual ways of trying to interpret this and not someone else's guidebook. Because I think to each of us, it's individual. How do you approach this power, this entity, this cosmic force out there? Not with skepticism, but probably with an open-minded that You'll look at the universe around you. You'll look at your surroundings. I'm not talking about the physical stuff that's man-made. Beyond that, I'm talking about the nature. Beyond that, I'm talking about the stuff inside the atom, or the cosmos itself, or even beyond that. That there was an intelligence at work, a designer. More importantly, someone who actually cared about a creation. Saw his creation going screwed up like crazy, so he had to get a fixer. Tried to show him how to get things going again, how to change lives, how to change the person for a hell of a lot better, so he can make the world a lot better, or she. And in order to approach that power, you would have to lower every guard that you've got, that you feel inside. The mental blocks, the fears, the phobias, the angers, the indiscretions, whatever you've got going. You have to kind of realize that you are nothing. And this entity is greater than you. There's a hell of a lot of egos out there that say otherwise. I'll get to that one in a few minutes. That's when you're lowering everything that you've got, even the notion that you are not the center of the universe. You're just only part of that universe, existing there for a short time. And in order to get yourself quote-unquote saved, you have to surrender to that, whatever it is. Now, a lot of people have freaked out about it because there's also a positive and negative energy out there. Maybe there is. I know there's a positive force out there, and I sure as hell know that there's a negative force out there. And the positive force still lingers around you and about you, that you don't know or are not aware of it. The brain can only comprehend the physical nature of its own universe and the surrounding area of it. It is by chemicals and neurochemistry that we're able to do sensing all around us. But beyond that, it's a different story altogether. Because that energy level is intensive, incredible, scary as hell. And it's personal. It's personalized. It means you have to lower your own personality, your own interpretations of everything, and just somehow will it, allow it, ask it. And then once you get hooked into the thing, energize a battery is a way off understatement. Because it is a force of nature of a kind that you've never experienced before. Communication to a level that you've never understood. And yet somehow inside of you, you recognize this because part of your own internal nature is also energy of a level never understood, except maybe trying to woefully inadequate describe it as a soul. And once this soul actually understands what's going on, reconnects, it's like you're part of the larger continuum that you've never experienced before in your life. The head cannot comprehend images and feelings because it is a level that is hyper-stimulating everything of you inside. People call it the rapture. People try to figure out a scientific method for it. I call it connection at this point. Other things I've called it as well. Basically, the hello, the handshake, the handshake. You're shaking hands with something, and you feel the firmness grip. Not in your hands physically, but the way your soul feels it by extending its hand out, and you're feeling the grasp. Firm, warm, powerful, energetic. You feel the energy. And the problem is the brain can't function, neither can the stress levels or the fear. When you're a young kid at the age of 4 years old, and you have your chest ripped open, and doctors trying to save your ass, and somehow you just see everything else right there. You see yourself, the chest opened, the rib cage put aside, and your body's on a bypass machine. And you float through the tunnel. You're not seeing anybody in the room, you're just seeing yourself there. You float through the tunnel and you see this figure right there. You can't identify it. You know it, but you don't know him. You feel like you want to go home because you feel there you're home. And you hear or feel that it's not time yet, John. 3 times it happens. There have been times that I had tried to remember and recall this thing like crazy. I have heard the story many times from my mother, but the actual experiences, I try to recreate in my mind to see what it was, and I can't. It was just too damn traumatic. So my brain has a hard time trying to deal with that one. I didn't have to be born again. I was saved already. And died and come back to life 3 times. It scared the hell out of me. Sometimes it still does. But if I happen to just lower everything else I've got right now as I'm talking about it, sometimes I think I could perceive it again. And understand and feel and know. It's not the easiest damn thing. It doesn't mean I'm jumping around for it. Because I felt those energies. You know, I have had visitations of my deceased family. Usually my mother and my brother will haunt me in my dreams every so often. It's hard to still deal with your deceased family. My mother and my brother. My guardian angels of sorts. They know decisions I make, and they know the choices I make. Sometimes they're good, and other times they're rotten as hell. And they're going to hurt me one way or another. And they know that too. But they keep trying to put me in a straight level, keep reminding me. Some things I can deal with, some things I can't deal with. Some things I'm entitled, and other things I think I'm not entitled, but I'll get them anyway. I have to be reminded. I have to be reminded. So if I happen to start doing that kind of stuff, I separate from that energy level. I no longer consider myself as part of that born-again thing. I am back to regular, fearing everything else these days, and I'm a regular human being because I have life hitting me left and right. And I no longer share that, I'm born again, I gotta share it with you, look at me, I'm like, okay, fine for you, but not for me, okay? But you have to be in this way. It's like, oh, terrific, somebody's going to give me some soma. It's Let's get drugged out like crazy. There goes the fear and suspicion right there. But only because I already know about what I need to do, what I don't want to do, and some things I have to do that have to matter. They have to. If they don't, I don't know what else is going to do. So, for right now, that's enough of me blathering at this point. It's the longest damn thing I've ever talked about is concerning about how religion and spirituality works for me, my reaction to everybody else these days. I'm not going to apologize for the things I've said or done. Or it comes down for religion in the first place, or spirituality, or the arguments. They're out there, they're done. Move on. All I know is I'm a fool, I'm an idiot. Either I'm right or I'm wrong, or I'm both. All depends upon point of view, doesn't it? For that one, we're gonna post this, and maybe later on do another video about it. Because I think it's worth exploring at this point, even today. There are certain actions and certain forces right now that are pulling at us in different directions. And we have to be truthful and honest to ourselves about that. What do we believe in? What believes in us? Anyway, I'll talk about that one a little bit later.